musician Garland Nelson shares some local gospel music history. Learn all about artistic planning at the Saratoga Performing Arts Center with Chris Shiley. And catch a performance from A Joyful Noise. It's all ahead on this episode of AHA, A House for Arts.
Funding for AHA has been provided by your contribution and by contributions to the WMHT Venture Fund. Contributors include the Leo Cox Beach Philanthropic Foundation, Chet and Karen Alpelka, Robert and Doris Fisher-Melisardi, and the Robeson Family Foundation.
At M&T Bank, we understand that the vitality of our communities is crucial to our continued success. That's why we take an active role in our community. M&T Bank is pleased to support WMHT programming that highlights the arts, and we invite you to do the same.
Hi, I'm Matt Rogowitz, and this is AHA, A House for Arts, a place for all things creative. WMHT's latest documentary is called Echoes of Praise, Gospel Music in New York's Capital Region. Here's a clip from the program featuring musician Garland Nelson sharing some little-known local history at Cafe Lena.
Gospel to me is, as I always say, soul music, as I've come to define it as being life in music. Really, it's just about coming from a heritage of, the African-American tradition by way of, as I like to say, a troubled past, but still keeping their eyes on the prize. That sense of hope, that sense of there's a better glory beyond our current situation. That is really the power of gospel music, powered with praise and worship for God and Jesus Christ. But even for those who didn't believe in heaven coming from a Christian background, you still can have that sense of hope, that power, that enthusiasm, that joy that just pretty much just gets an entire room charged up. That's gospel to me. A brother by the name of Joel Moss, who happens to be a multi-award winning producer, he stepped to me one day in early 2018 and was like, hey, we need to do something. We needed to do something musical that would help raise the spirits of our community. And him knowing that I had a gospel background, it was like, hey, can we do something that would get everyone involved regardless of faith? I said, absolutely. So I reached out to my brother, Azam Hamid, a fantastic gospel artist and musician in his own right in the Capital Region, to be music directors to put together this vocal group.
When Garland called me and told me what Joel Moss's vision was, I was immediately on board and interested because it also is a vision that I've had. Songs of hope and inspiration with universal lyrics.
We are sitting now in Cafe Lena. When Joel asked us to do something here, it was like, why here? And it was like, well, do you not know what happened here at Cafe Lena? I'm like, apparently not. Miss Lena had this folk house going on for a little bit where artists like Bob Dylan and Richie Havens, they all kind of came through here. But there was also another place in Saratoga Springs called Hattie's Chicken Shack. A lot of brothers and sisters through the track and other summer activities came up here. So there was a woman by the name of Bernice Johnson, who was from Georgia in the Civil Rights Movement in 1962, who was waitressing at Hattie's, making some extra dough for the track season. Everything is cool. And while she was serving food, someone overheard her, I think of Miss Lena, and said, hey, maybe you should come sing at Cafe Lena real quick. And she was like, well, I don't really know. So she came up, did the open mic, and realized that this was a great opportunity to do something. So when she went back home, back to Georgia, she went back and formed a 4-person singing group called the Freedom Singers that literally did everything for in the civil rights movement. They marched with MLK, even things leading up to the March on Washington. And periodically, they would come back up here to Saratoga and perform here at Cafe Lena. And that is one of the earliest first gospel shows Cafe Lena has ever seen, the Freedom Singers. So at the time, I said, well, we should do it here at Cafe Lena. We can go to some church down the street. This is the perfect home to start this kind of spirit choir here at Cafe Lena. So after we did some evaluating, we realized that A Joyful Noise was the project that we were going to start. And A Joyful Noise really is the Capital Region spirit choir. So I kind of stripped the gospel out for a minute because we wanted to make sure that this was clear. If we're talking about the gospel, soul music, life in music, different artists that are not church have written amazingly moving songs that will just have that same gospel impact. You know, Blowing in the Wind comes to mind. It's the reason why Aretha Franklin did it, right? There are artists like James Taylor that have written like Shower the People in terms of uplifting the spirit and having our minds be hopeful towards something. So we felt that if we can blend that kind of style with traditional gospel music and modern gospel, then all of a sudden we can get that participatory interactivity in addition to the energy needed. That's A Joyful Noise.
See the entire documentary anytime at WMHT.org/Echoes of Praise. And be sure to stick around to see a performance from A Joyful Noise at the end of today's episode. But first, we're looking ahead to the spring season at the Saratoga Performing Arts Center. Jade Warwick sat down with SPAC's VP of Artistic Planning, Chris Shiley, to learn more about programming at SPAC and to see what we can look forward to this spring.
Hey, Chris, welcome to House for Arts. I'm glad to have you today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so before we dive into your position at SPAC, I want to learn about you, the artist. So what's one of your main artistic passions and focuses, you would say?
Probably my main is music, and just in general. It's a broad, obviously, answer, but specifically classical music, and that's a lot of my background. I was a professional trumpet player for many years and studied classical music as a performer. But really beyond that, just music in general. Any good music is really where a big passion of mine and what drives me.
And you say you focus on the trumpet. Is that your main instrument focus that you kind of play around with is the trumpet?
That was my main, yeah. That's what I went to school for. That's what I studied. That's what I did. That was my all day, every day for many years, 4 or 5 hours a day in a little room with me and a trumpet, just practicing and working on it. So,
how'd your parents feel about that?
Yeah, they were very supportive. I was very lucky because the trumpet is not an easy instrument to start. It's pretty loud and not very pretty in the initial phases in particular. So they were pretty supportive of just some loud honking noises coming from my room for a while I figured it out. So.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Why the trumpet for you?
Well, it really wasn't my first choice, in all honesty. My first choice was saxophone. I wanted to play jazz sax, but as I was going through the process in band, and when I was maybe 12 or something, the band director needed trumpet players, and I was able to make a sound on the mouthpiece, and so they wanted to have me try trumpet for a year, and if I didn't like it, they would switch, but obviously I took to it and kind of stuck with it from there. I think it's a really versatile instrument, though, as I learned more and more about it. You can play jazz, you can play Broadway, you can play pops music, you can play classical and orchestral, you can do chamber music, so there's a lot of things that you can do with it that make it really fun and allow you to have a really varied sort of career as you perform.
Nice.
So.
Is that why you stuck with it?
Yeah, I think so. I think it also for me, art, it's just a self-expression, and it became the medium by which I express myself. So I have a feeling whatever instrument I had, if I'd gone with saxophone or if I'd gone with cello or French horn or something, I probably would have stuck with it, because I think for me it was more about just having a way to express myself.
Yeah, so. And I know you did a lot of freelancing as a trumpeter. How was that? What was the life as a freelance trumpeter? If you could paint that picture for us.
Yeah, I mean, the life of any freelance artist, I think, is a grind.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, as I'm sure you know. So it was, to my earlier point, it was varied. It was what was great about it was because you can play so many different genres and different styles, every day was a different gig and a different experience, and I was one day playing in a Broadway pit, and then the next day playing in a band, and the next day playing with an orchestra, and then playing a chamber music, doing a recital. So every day was something different, which was great. It was also exhausting and a grind. And as you know, as a freelancer, like there's a lot of time in the car. There's a lot of time by yourself, just kind of going from gig to gig. It's a tough job to have, I think, as a freelancer. But what I loved about it as a trumpet player was just how much variety I could have.
Oh yeah, I bet so much, as you just mentioned.
Yeah.
So that kind of just leads us into your position at SPAC. So
Yeah.
why don't you give us a little bit of this, the non-freelancer?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, freelancing is just a grind. And after doing that for a while, I was kind of thinking about like my future, and did I want to keep doing that, or did I want to try to do something else? And I had always had an eye for like logistics and operations as well. And as a freelancer, you actually have to do a lot of that stuff yourself anyways. Contracts and things kind of end up, unless you have a management team, which is way down the road, you're doing a lot of that yourself. So I kind of got more interested in that side of things and started to pursue opportunities with some different organizations, focused really on operations and logistics, and did that for many years as well, and got to travel the world doing different logistical, gigs, so to speak. And then when it came to SPAC, there was this opportunity to take over the role of artistic planning, and that's my title there. I'm VP of Artistic Planning, which is really kind of combining both. It's combining that sort of creative, artistic side of performing and that self-expression, and then also balancing it with all the logistics that it takes to actually execute all the shows that we do at SPAC.
So is that how you would define artistic planning?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a mix. It's understanding the repertoire. It's curating a season in collaboration with several partners, and having a sort of artistic voice. But then also, once that side of it is done, sitting down and going, okay, now how are we going to actually do all of this?
Wow. Yeah, big position there.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So, in your opinion, what makes a great artistic planner?
I think you have to, first of all, you have to be able to manage just a lot of details and really think in a broad picture. I think that's important. You've got to think about, from a curating side, you've got to think about a whole season, not just one show, but how that show impacts the next show and the next show and the next show. So I think that's an important component of the job. I think you also work closely with a lot of different people. I work with a lot of different, be it musicians, artists, administrators from the organizations that we work with, like Philadelphia Orchestra, New York City Ballet. We have these great partners, and I have to work very closely with them. So I think a good artistic administrator and artistic planner has to sort of be able to hear everyone's concerns and hear everyone's viewpoints, and kind of balance those and work towards the result that in the end is best for SPAC and best for Saratoga. So it's a bit of a balancing act, and I think that's a big part of the job.
Yeah, I can see that,
Yeah.
100%. You're basically curating the whole energy and connection piece of these concerts, performances, and programs, correct?
Yeah, we're really trying to think at SPAC with our partners, as I just mentioned, at the ballet and the orchestra and chamber music. We're really trying to think about what is the arc of their season when they come. We're fortunate to have these great companies every summer, and we really want each summer to feel unique. And so we think about what's it like when they arrive, and the excitement there, and how do they start their residency, and how does it sort of arc to the end of their residency when they're finished and leaving, and how do we end in a way that feels like we've kind of bookended the season, but also leave with some excitement and get people excited to want to come back again next year.
So how do you build that excitement and build that uniqueness?
There's a lot of different ways that we do it. We do it through the repertoire, obviously, through the soloists that we bring to the stage, through presenting classic works that people know and love and are excited to see, presenting new works that people maybe are completely unfamiliar with but get to experience something they've never thought imaginable before. So there's like a lot of ways that we try to generate excitement in the season, and I think variety is key in that process. You want to make sure that you try to have something for everybody. That's one of our sort of slogans behind the scenes at SPAC, that we really want somebody and everybody to find something for themselves on the season. And that's hard to do because there's a lot of people and a lot of different feelings and opinions out there. But we really try to make sure we cast a wide net with our programming and what we're bringing.
Yeah, and New York is such a artistic and culturally diverse area too. So I know that can be a challenge, but you guys are really hitting the nail on the head with it though.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's an ongoing process for sure.
I want to talk about, was it Spa Little Theater? Is that what it's called? Give us a background on that, and I want to know the type of programming and events you guys have coming up.
Yeah, it's been, that's a relatively new space to us at SPAC, and I think, you know, a lot of people hear SPAC and they think the amphitheater, and that's the, you know, amazing space and a huge space, and obviously we do a lot of great programming there, but it's also a limiting space because it's so big, right? You have over 5,000 seats, a capacity of over 20,000 people at the amphitheater. You have to have huge shows to do events in that space. And there's a lot of great artists out there with really unique viewpoints and really interesting things to say who maybe don't have shows or productions that fit in a stage that is 90 feet wide, you know?
Yeah, 5,000 seats,
and
yeah.
5,000 seats. And so a couple of years ago, we were given the opportunity to start to program the Spa Little Theater, which is a 500-seat venue. It's a great acoustic. It's a really intimate space. And it's great. It's 500 seats, but it feels like it's about 200 seats. So it's got this really great energy in there. And it's given us the opportunity at SPAC to bring a lot of artists to the region who haven't been here before and who have something unique to share, and artists that we've had our eye on for a long time, but we've been unable to bring because we were kind of limited by just the vastness of the amphitheater. So to now have those two spaces kind of running in tandem is just a great opportunity, and it means SPAC really is a year-round performing arts center now. We don't get any time off anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, we start, the Spa Little Theater is kind of October to May, and then summer is May to September, and maybe there's 3 weeks in September, and then we start all over again.
Busy,
so
busy.
It is busy, but it's exciting to also be able to connect with the community year-round now and not feel like we just kind of go away for 9 months a year like it was in the summer.
Bring people in, create access.
Yeah.
And so what type of future programming and events is the Spa Little Theater going to have? And SPAC as well, you know, just overall. What are some things that people should look forward to? Yeah, well, we've got a great spring season starting in March in the Spa Little Theater. And we are presenting Ballet X, which is a modern dance company in there. They have an incredible commitment to new work and to contemporary voices and modern voices. And so we're really excited to have them. They are just a phenomenal company, and I think are going to blow people away. Dance in that space is really amazing just because it is so intimate. We have Chamber Music Society of Lincoln Center. They've been our partner for a long time, and we've now gone to a year-round format with them since we now have the Spa Little Theater, which has been fantastic. We have Zakir Hussain, one of the greatest percussionists to ever live, coming to play in that space. And again, to get to hear someone of his stature and reputation in such an intimate space, I think is going to be amazing. So, you know, we have an incredible spring season in the Little Theater that we're very excited about. And then we have our summer season with New York City Ballet, Philadelphia Orchestra, all those programs. We're so excited to be bringing this summer. They're going to be incredible residencies. There's so much variety on each season that we're just really excited to kind of continue to grow and build those residencies and that programming as well. And that'll start in, you know, June and July for us. And we also have our Jazz Fest as well, which is always just an incredible, incredibly fun event. So. Yeah, I can't wait to go to that one.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Chris, for giving us a little glimpse into your world, and I appreciate you for taking the time to talk to us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you.
Please welcome A Joyful Noise.
Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine. I'm an heir of salvation. Oh, yeah. Purchased by God. Born of His Spirit. Washed in His blood. Blessed assurance. Go ahead. Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine. I'm an heir of salvation. Go ahead. Go ahead. Purchased by God. Born of the Spirit. Washed in His blood. This is my story. Jesus is mine. What a blessing assurance is mine. What a blessing assurance is mine. This is my story. This is the 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 story. This is my story. This is my song. This is my Savior. All the day long. Come on, y'all. I don't know what you come to do. I don't know what you come to do. I don't know what you come to do. Yeah. I don't know what you come to do. I'm gonna walk, walk, walk. Walk, walk, walk. I'm gonna walk, walk, walk. Hey. Walk, walk, walk. I don't know what you come to do. I don't know what you come to do. I don't know what you come to do. Yeah. I don't know what you come to do. I came to clap my hands. My hands. 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 I don't know what you come to do. I don't know what you come to do. I don't know what you come to do. Yeah. I don't know what you come to do. I came to praise His name. His name. 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 I don't know what y'all come to do. I don't know what you come to do. We're gonna walk, 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 walk. We're gonna walk, 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 walk. Walk, walk, walk. I don't know what y'all come to do. I don't know what you come to do.
Thanks for joining us. For more arts, visit WMHT.org/aha and be sure to connect with us on social. I'm Matt Rogowitz. Thanks for watching.
Funding for AHA has been provided by your contribution and by contributions to the WMHT Venture Fund. Contributors include the Leo Cox Beach Philanthropic Foundation, Chet and Karen Alpelka, Robert and Doris Fisher Melisardi, and the Robeson Family Foundation.
At M&T Bank, we understand that the vitality of our communities is crucial to our continued success. That's why we take an active role in our community. M&T Bank is pleased to support WMHT programming that highlights the arts, and we invite you to do the same.